Dynasty playing against the Dragons. Dynasty were making a number of sloppy plays, but they actually looked pretty decent when they played against the London Spitfire. The Dragons, though, this is interesting. So they are trying to integrate Diem. That makes a lot of sense. Diem is a ridiculous Widowmaker player. Diem is a ridiculous hit scan player in general. He was actually my pick last year for the best hit scan player that we had in the entire league. I really did believe that in terms of being an all-round player, because as much as Happy is a god-tier Widowmaker, Diem can just play everything. His Trace is fabulous. His McCree is fabulous. His Widowmaker is unbelievable. But the Dragons have always failed to integrate Diem into this roster this year. Like, Diem hasn't had a good showing the entire year. And I think part of that might be due to just lack of practice time. But I think some of it probably has to do with Lip communicating more as well. And if you have a player that's very mechanically skilled, but maybe doesn't comm as much... I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but that's what it looks like sometimes when I watch the Dragons play with Lip and when I watch the Dragons play with Diem. But Diem is bonkers good. I want to watch Fleder on the Genji as well. Alright, immediately Izayaki falls. That's not good. Dragons playing very spread out. Don't really know why Izayaki was so far away from the rest of his team. Void is pushing around to secure the high ground, which I quite like. Positional control from Void up top. He's getting hit by Prophet, though, and they're pretty weak. They don't have the healing in this fight. That's the biggest difference, just because Izayaki died. So, and once they've traded sides, there's no chance they're ever going to be able to reconnect with Izayaki, so. Okay. Dynasty win that with a Halt Accretion onto Izayaki that kills him. Don't Lip and Diem have the same hero pool? Pretty similar. Lip plays way more Sombra, whereas Diem basically never plays a Sombra. Diem plays Tracer, whereas Lip doesn't play Tracer. But in terms of like the hit scan and the Hanzo and stuff like that, that area of their hero pool overlaps. So, Dragons are going to push back in again. Ligia gone very far forwards. Great bash onto Marvel. He's weak. Gonna disengage. But Osin forced to use the Immortality Field, and I don't believe Izayaki was forced to use his. Large advantage in the fight, but they have to watch out for the Ant Matrix. Marvel destroyed. How did Marvel go down? What the fuck is going on here? Did Marvel just take a headshot? Yes, he took a headshot down to 40 HP. So that's really Diem's kill. Nice pick by Diem. Ligia gone. Kind of feeding, honestly. Diem gets the next kill on Fitz. I really want to look at Diem and just see why they are losing more when Diem is in. Because Diem, for my money, is such an incredible player. Like, look at that. That's absurd. The guy's so good. How can they not integrate this person into their team properly?
I'll take care of these.
Yeah, most hit scan players, I think, don't talk very much, but that's why I'm wondering whether Lip is like the unusual player that contributes a lot to the comms. And again, if you're playing Widow, I mean, how much can you even contribute? Surely not that much. Okay, so let's move away from DM for a moment. Take a look at the positioning of the rest of the players. Both infra sites used. Everyone knows where everybody else is. They see all four players, and Void uses his Gravitic Flux. Forces out the Immortality Field, and Badosin's Immortality Field does end up going down. That pairs up Fleder for the Blade. He actually gets What the fuck is going on here? What the hell was that noise? That was weird. Okay, what happened with Fleder here? Okay. So they pop the later rally. They have Immortality Field. It's a whip shot from Slime. Really nice whip shot. Does a bit of damage to him, and other people are shooting at him as well. And Fleta, I don't think has taken... I don't think he had taken the armor packs from Lee Jae-gon. And he dashed upwards as well in order to start that blade. So he didn't even get the extra rally armor. And he just basically fucking feeds his brains out. I think a lot of these Asian teams are having difficulty setting their Genjis up in the best position for success. Now, having said that, really nice shot from Diem to be able to kill Prophet. That's absolutely crucial. And that's going to give Dragons a chance to win this. Oh, Diem with another... All right, Diem fucking manhandles this fight. Prophet's got a blade. He's going to do enormous damage with that blade. But Diem hits a body shot on him and then a second body shot on him. There's no way that Prophet would have died there unless Diem body shot him twice. They waste Halt on Diem just because they're scared of him. Fitz has no idea that he's able to be seen. And then he gets another kill on Badosin. What goes wrong in the finals? Diem is definitely a better Widow than Lip. Even though Lip is good, Diem is definitely better. So why are they worse when they play with Lip? When they play with Diem?
I needed that.
Well, so far in this round, they weren't worse. Now, having said that, the setup for the Dragon Blade was really poor compared to how Paris and Philly were playing around it. But Dragons basically roast these people as they come in with the Gravitic Flux. Did Prophet just get a sick Reflect kill? No. No, he just assassinated him. I thought he might have got a sick Reflect kill from the other area. Maybe it's Fleta that drops the ball. I was worried about Fleta. I said, I think at the beginning of this stream, that I think Shanghai are set up by their amazing tank and support line. And the DPS players are more supportive. And if you get into a meta like this, where your DPS players are supposed to carry, that's where I worry about Fleta. Because as much as people talk about the Fleta deadlift, I mean, that was a long fucking time ago on a really bad team. I'm not sure that Fleta's the kind of player that is going to bring you those enormous performances. He's very consistently good, but he is more of a secondary DPS, really, than a carry DPS. Okay, so Dynasty are going to run this dive comp with Sombra Echo. We have seen this run quite a bit in the APAC region previously. Let's just take a moment to think about how these two comps would interact. I think you need the Zarya because you need to be able to bubble gesture when he dives into Lee Jae-gon and Void. Fitz is going to have to try and get hacks onto Fleta or Void, right? Like, that's the main purpose here. You're trying to hack Fleta when he goes aggressive, or you're trying to hack Void when he plays off at off angles. If you don't get the hacks, though... Oh my god, gesture just gets melted. The Halt was potent. I also don't think, like, the Dynasty have occasionally played this comp alright, but sometimes they hard feed with this comp. And most of the time, the difference between them feeding and winning is whether they get gesture and Fitz in good positions before they dive. And this, I mean, this is not gesture in a good position before he dives. This bubble is broken before he even lands. Before he's even in a position to get value out of the bubble blocking any of the CC. It's already gone, and he just gets halted back up and killed. So, not a good first attempt from the Dynasty. A hack onto Void. Oh, and Diem kills Badosin. Diem's now dueling with Fitz on the point and forces him back. Diem could just run this, honestly. Diem is good enough that if he gets... Oh, okay. He gets killed by Fitz there. The rest of his team wasn't in a position to help him. It's kind of weird. If Diem gets positioned, like, up here, or gets positioned up here, and the dragons just play aggressive, I think Diem can just roll these kids. Oh, he's going over to Ashe. It does give him a bit more survivability. And Prophet's gone over to the Genji as well. I think the Genji's probably better. A hack onto Izayaki. And they're just going to try and push things in on the front line. I mean, Prophet's in an alright position, but the Dynasty are spread out all over the map. Gesture, the only one on the point. The rest of his backline's getting their shit kicked in. This doesn't look good, does it? This doesn't look good. I'm about to blow my brains out. Fleder has easily been an MVP candidate and has been top tier on every hero that he's played. Right. My point isn't that Fleder has been bad this season. He hasn't at all. But there's a difference between a player that does their role really well in a team and a player that can take the game and just control it. Fleder's Tracer is not the best in the world, but Fleder, when he plays Tracer, looks amazing with the Dragons because he's right there with Fearless. The team coordination is brilliant, and he's in the right place at the right time. But if you put him in a meta where his Tracer has to carry and he has to win Tracer 1v1s, he will get pooed on because Fleder's Tracer isn't that good. He's smart, and he's great at being able to be that team player, but he's not a carry player. And there's a difference, and there's no shame on Fleder for not being a carry player. He's highly flexible, highly intelligent. But I worry in a very strong Genji meta, or a very strong Tracer meta for the Dragons a little bit, because they would have to rely on Diem's Tracer, I think, and Fleder's Genji. And I think, although Diem can be that powerhouse Tracer, not so sure about Fleder's Genji. You think about other players that really can carry from that role. Prophet totally can carry as Tracer and Genji. Sparkle can absolutely carry as Genji, although wouldn't be able to do anything as Tracer, I think. Would only be a supportive player. All right, Fleder goes in. Great Dragon Blade. Wonderfully set up. Supercharger. Demolishes everybody. And I think the Dynasty's comp... I mean... They have a lot of ults, so you have to stick onto it, but they're just making it too easy for the Dragons here. Yeah, I don't think Fleder is one of the best Genjis. I think he's a bit like a... He's a bit like an architect, though. If his team is really good at being able to set him up, I absolutely believe that Fleder would be good in this meta. Because Fleder has the talent. He just needs help to be put in the best positions. You can't expect him to go God mode. I think. It's been a long time since we've seen Fleder's Genji. Wow, he got bashed there and absolutely destroyed. This is the team fight that the Dynasty are expected to win, though. They have EMP. Dragons have nothing. They go in. Bish bash bosh. They get it done. They actually didn't even use many ults, so that's wonderful from the Dynasty. This now could be a turnaround. They've managed to set themselves up so that the ult cycle will work really well here. They can win the next fight with a Nano Blade, and then they're going to have an EMP, or if they don't have an EMP, they can win the next fight with, or they can try and win with a Grav. The Grav isn't great, but you can try and like solo Grav Fleder or something away from the rest of the team. Okay, Nano Blade is in. Oh, Prophet finding it actually really quite difficult to be able to chop through that immortality field, but he still gets a lot of work done. And they choose to invest the primal there as well. Probably needed, to be honest, when you consider that Prophet was... He got 2 kills, but he was struggling to get enormous value out of that nano. Was this a 3-1? Yeah, I think so. I can't quite remember. If you had to choose one for your roster, who would you pick? EQO or Sparkle? I think I would pick Sparkle because his hero pool is a little bit wider, and even though the guy is a fearless motherfucker who feeds his brains out sometimes, I think with the right coaching staff, Sparkle could learn to be one of the all-time great players. He has that mechanical potential. EQO is the already finished product, but he doesn't really play hit scan at all, whereas Sparkle actually can handle some of the hit scan. And Sparkle, I think, has shown a larger depth to his potential hero pool. Yeah, I think I go with Sparkle with the caveat that I think EQO would be better short-term. Sparkle would be better long-term if you have the right coaching staff. Okay, Dynasty going to pop their rally here. What does Marvel do with the Grav? Grav's actually pretty decent onto Lee Jae-gon, but they've got a rally going on, so there's no way they're going to be able to turn that. And Fitz just doesn't generate his EMP quickly enough. I mean, that's what this is going to come back to. Is just they were kind of hoping that Fitz would have EMP by now. Sparkle's Doom is the best in the world. Probably yes. His Genji is certainly close to one of the best, close to being the best in the world. Maybe you could argue that it is. It certainly seems like it in this meta. Although, I don't know, it's a bit more one-dimensional than how some other people play it, but there's certainly an argument to be made. Sinatra's Doom best in the world. Sinatra is also very good at it. But I think Sinatra was more of those, like, also learned how to play incredibly well with his team. Sparkle's just got this raw talent that's unbelievable. Okay, King's Row. So, the Seoul Dynasty lose. They played a comp that I don't think they should have done on Ilios, which is how a lot of control maps ended up getting lost so far in the Summer Showdown. And the Dynasty take us over to King's Row. This is going to put a lot of pressure on... I don't know, by the way, which map the Dynasty won. I know that this was a 3-1 game, but I have no idea which map the Dynasty won. This map is going to put quite a bit of pressure on Flutter's Genji, so I'm interested to see whether Flutter can go toe-to-toe with Prophet. Oh, it's 3-0 with a draw. That's why it's 4 maps. Ah, I see. I thought it was 3-1. The amount of maps baited me. So Dynasty are going to defend with Mei Ash. We've seen Mei Ash be used quite a lot. I think with the benefit of hindsight. Far Zenith, thank you very much for the 13 months. Thank you. Very kind. With the benefit of hindsight, where have we actually seen Ash Mei work? Certainly on Hanamura Point A defense. And maybe on King's Row defense. That's about it. That is literally about it. I think that you can get value out of it on King's Row, but I also think that the Genji comp is also super good on King's Row. So, I think this Mei Ash thing... I can understand the reason for playing it, but I think it's pretty... I don't think it's a counter. I think it's actually pretty even on King's Row defense. They teleported to the high ground, which is this classic play on King's Row in order to avoid the choke point. And Void and Lee Jae-gon are going to get in for free and going to control this high ground. I got to say, King's Row is one of the Dragon's best maps. They've shown that they have a wonderful understanding of how to play double shield on this map. They have a wonderful understanding of how to play dive on this map as well. They brutalized people in the main melee. If I'm the Dynasty, okay, this map does put a bit of pressure on Fleder's Genji, which you might identify as the weak point. But other than that, I'm kind of reluctant to take the Dragons to King's Row because they know what they're doing here. It's one of Lee Jae-gon and Void's best maps at controlling high ground. They're so good at point A. Okay, I remember watching the Dragons take control of high ground before, and they're just so methodical on King's Row. They put people in positions, they push them in, they take control of this high ground. They're gonna get Fleder up here, they push people off. Oh, both of the... Oh, Void gets frozen up. Gets caught. Nice immortality field. They've pushed the Dynasty into taking this fight. Prophet up and around. But the Dragons have now pushed out the backline and killed Gesture as well. Look at it, the middle of this fight. Look at Gesture. He's alone, essentially. This little trio in the back of the Brig, the Sigma, and the Mei essentially leaves Gesture undefended. And so as he tries to push forwards to control that space, as soon as the Dragons change tack, they get owned. Or as soon as the Dragons change tack, the Dynasty get owned. It's so decisive from the Dragons. It's so good to watch. They're probably... I don't know. They're probably the best team in the league at Kings Row Point A. Very, very methodical. Great understanding of how to break defensive holds. Like NYXL's First Point Gibraltar. Yeah, NYXL's First Point Gibraltar is another iconic, like, team map combo. Alright, let's take a look at the Dragons here, though, because they are starting to build towards a blade. I think that's their goal here. Put Diem in the high ground. Have Fleta build up the blade. And then you want to rally blade. Maybe Amp Matrix first, just to push them away from the choke. Is Diem going for a flank? Oh my god, Diem's all the way around the back. They rally. And Void is going to Gravitic Flux. Gesture ends up dying in the middle of all of that as well. And without... How does Gesture die without Fleta even using his blade? Gesture was the first casualty in the previous fight as well, because the rest... Okay, so Gesture got whip shot back, then halted in. He just pushes way too far forward again. Hello? Dunno. Not a clue. Not a clue. Don't understand. Not a clue. Yeah, but Osen did use Lamp very early. Dragons get a free teamfight win. Free. They used double support ult, sure. And they used the Flux, but they didn't use the Bongo or the Blade, which just sets them up wonderfully for this next engagement. They can Bongo Blade aggressively here to try and put Prophet in a horrible position for his Blizzard. Like, Prophet needs some time to set up the best Blizzard possible. He needs to figure out where everyone's positioned. He needs to push the Dragons into a corner. If you play aggressive here, if you play aggressive here as the Dragons, get some armor packs on Fleta, get the fuck in, which is exactly what they're about to do. Fleta should be able to beast him around. Playing a little passive, considering that he's got an immortality field. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that from Fleta. I mean, take a look at that again. Fleta's up, uses it. There's a halt that comes in. The halt is fabulous. But then instead of continuing to go aggressive and trusting in his team to give him the immortality field and give him the heals, he backs up. And he basically gets nothing done. Like, maybe he's just trying to bait out the Blizzard, but... I don't know. I think Prophet didn't even use his Blizzard, right? He got stunned out of it. And then he's just playing passive inside of an immortality field that essentially gets wasted, and he dies before the immortality field even does. So, I don't think that was particularly great from Fleta. I think that should have been a teamfight win for the Dragons, really. It is a nice stun on Prophet, yeah, to stop his Blizzard coming out. I think if Fleta had played more aggressive with that, they could have definitely turned that into a teamfight win. If the whole of the Dynasty backline had to worry about Fleta and the Dragons had pushed forward, they still had Supercharger up. They were worried about the Blizzard for sure, but I don't think they should have given Dynasty so much respect. Dynasty defending again, and they're going to have the Supercharger available. Dragons are flanking all the way around the side, and their aim here is to push the Seoul Dynasty into Diem's sightlines. So you can see that, like, Normally, if the dragons take this side, you would want the dynasty to play around the payload, right? Except that you're right in Diem's sightline. So instead, the Seoul dynasty are forced to really take an aggressive engagement with their supercharger, which they do very well. They isolate Void, they take him out, they use the Mei wall to stop the immortality field being a thing. And even though Diem kills one, we got ourselves a pretty good team fight win for the dynasty there. Oh. Bongo is a crazy ult. It really is. And now Fleder's gone over to the Mei. Which, if I'm watching this and I have no idea how deep the Dragons are going to go in this tournament, I'm a little concerned. I don't really know how much Genji ended up playing in the finals and stuff like that, but the fact that he doesn't feel confident in being able to outplay the Mei from Prophet is a bit strange to me. I absolutely don't think you need to mirror the Mei on this map. I totally think you can outplay them using the Genji. Oh, look at this sneaky play from Fitz up top. Oh, but it was a bait. Dragons baited them. Oh, and they found the halt onto Slime. And then whacked him up in the air. Really nice escape, actually. And Fitz manages to find the first pick onto Lee Jae-gon. It was such a cute little play from the Dragons. But it doesn't actually get any value. Void's got to drop off the high ground. Can't contest against the Amp Matrix. Everyone is so weak. Fleder also caught out here. That's a beautiful Blizzard. That is a beautiful Blizzard from Prophet. Izayaki just runs forward to try and feed himself in as quickly as possible. Great response from the Dynasty on that defense. Slime was caught out a little bit, but the help was there from the rest of his team. You know, Slime gets halted in, then he bashes away, and then Bedosian has the immortality field ready for him. Fits with a bit of a flank to get the kill. It's pretty sick. Pretty sick. Are you going to review NOXL versus Guangzhou, or is the sweep a waste of time? I've already done it. It was earlier on in the VOD. You can go back and take a look at it. Alright, Dragons are going to press forwards. Mei wall is really strange, actually, coming out from Prophet. Don't really understand what that did. Maybe bought a little bit of time. A better rally here for Slime. A lot of shield damage, though. Just got to pop his Fortify, but so does Fearless. The wall there just to break the Amp Matrix, or rather, like, stop it being a factor. The Bob also for the exact same thing. But at the end of the day, it's Diem that cracks this one open. Where was Prophet? How did Diem get the kill on Prophet? How do top players figure out where the fuck people's heads are when there's so much shit on your screen? How do you do it? I can't tell Adam from Eve in the middle of this. That's, yeah, I mean, he only gets given the head for a second, but he kills Prophet there. That certainly cracks things open, especially with the help of Fearless's supercharger, which he got about 5 seconds faster than Gesture was going to. That makes a huge difference in the team fight. But honestly, a very even map so far. The defense has been very good for the Dynasty. The attack hasn't been terrible for the Dragons. I am disappointed that they didn't commit with Fleder's Genji, because it looked okay, but it didn't look that great. Dragons with control of the high ground now, though. And Fleder does have his Blizzard. What I expect to happen here is the cart to get free pushed up, and like Void and Fleder are going to go on a flank around here and try and Blizzard Marvel. That's what I'm anticipating happening. But if the Dynasty choose to actually contest the payload, maybe that plan will change. Looks like it though, doesn't it? Void and Fleder are taking that left flank. Okay, Amp Matrix in the main. This actually does provide quite a decent opportunity for Void and Fleder to go for the flank. They could certainly try it. Okay, Amp Matrix is now gone. That should be the go signal. They've got so much free push. So much free push for the Dragons. I think the Dynasty respect them a bit too much here. The Bob engage. And they've decided not to go for the flank around, actually. They've just got so much free push that they now don't even have to flank. They can just run it down mid. And Prophet dies. This is way too scared for the Dynasty. That's such a disappointing point C hold. When they were so good on point A and B. That's a crumble. That's a vintage Mary Berry apple crumble.
0 to 3. Switching sides.
Feels like the Dynasty should have been able to hold them on point C there. Ah, that's unlucky. Oh, it's not even unlucky. It's just bad. But it's kind of unfortunate that Overwatch, you can play well for 90% of the game and then throw the game at the end. Oh, I guess they weren't good on point A. Yeah, you're right. They were good on point B. I suppose it was all in point B, actually. Did you see my highlighted message? No, I didn't. Jay Brazzers, thank you for the Prime. And Gladiator, thank you for the 4 months of Prime as well. 4 months of inconsistent subscribing. I appreciate that, though. I don't care if it's inconsistent, but I love the support no matter what. Krong or Choi? I would tend to say Choi Obin, but apparently Krong had a ridiculous tournament. So Krong was pretty good in their game against New York, but actually he was very good in their game against New York. But Choi Obin's a pretty good player himself. I'll have to see if I'm amazingly impressed by Krong in the finals as well. Krong better Sigma, Choi better all round. Here's the thing, chat. I don't know whether that's true. Krong is kind of a diva god as well. I first noticed Krong when he was playing diva, and he looked like Fury. He was making some unreal plays and just had crazy awareness. So Krong's diva is nasty good. And then Krong's ball, when he's pulled it out, has looked pretty competent as well. Probably better than Choi Obin's, although we haven't seen enough of either to really make a great judgment. But Choi Obin's ball in the past has not looked that great. I can't remember seeing Krong play Zarya, though. Or Roadhog. When has Krong played Roadhog? Oh, wait, no, Krong, of course, played... Krong must have played Roadhog in the Stage 4 meta last year. No, wait, what the fuck am I talking about? Krong wasn't on the team last year. That was Hotba. You dumb sponge. I don't think I have seen Krong play Hog. So maybe Choi Obin wins all round just based on his Hog. But Krong has pulled out the Hog? Has he? I can't really remember. Krong is a rookie, yeah. Krong played Zarya a bit in Sombra Goats. Makes sense. I can't really remember how good Krong's Zarya was. And I can't remember how good Krong's Roadhog was either. Even though you guys are saying that he played it. Krong played a lot of Hog and Zarya in Apex Season 4. Bro, I don't even remember which team Krong played for in Apex Season 4. That was in 2017. I ain't taking that into account. That's so long ago. That's ancient history. You might as well say that Gesture's the best main tank. Who did he play for back then? I've no idea who he played for back then. Rocks? Ah. How close am I to finishing all the VODs? Pretty close, actually. This is the semi-final between the Dynasty and the Dragons before the grand final. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So let's stop chatting and get into it. So Dynasty have gone with the entirety of their team pushing on the high ground instead of just their Sigma and Brig. Gives them a lot of high ground control, but less... Well, actually, it gives them no high ground control because they didn't stay there and pressure Void at all. They're actually just going for the big wraparound. Very one-dimensional kind of flank. Well, bye-bye. Now your push is ruined. Or at least stalled out for a while. Dynasty awaiting. Building up shields, probably. Gesture places down the shield. Halt. Diem versus Fitz as well. When it comes to the Widows. And Void, again, just establishing supreme dominance over the high ground here. Fleta running the Mei, which I think is perfectly valid on King's Row defense. Although, like I said, I don't think it's necessarily better. Ooh, wow. Marvel kind of shits on Fleta. I don't think he realizes that Marvel's that close to him. But if you get the trade, I think that's fine. And Izyaki's doing a shit ton of damage over there as well. Diem with the 1v1 win over Fitz. Diem is so good, man. Diem is actually so good. It boggles my mind that they somehow have a higher map win rate with Lip. In this meta specifically, Diem's Widow is just absolutely nasty. Absolutely nasty. Like, Diem's a high candidate for best Widow in the league. Obviously, you would have him at the moment behind Happy, Ants, these kind of players that have played more this season and been more impressive. But last year, absolutely Diem was in the running for best Widowmaker in the whole league. So, Carpe, I mean, I think that when Diem and Carpe played against each other, Diem came out on top. And I think generally Diem has been the better player. If I was to construct a super team, if I was to construct a 6-man super team, I think Diem would be my hit scan player. But, you know, without any idea of what the meta would be, Diem can just play everything. His Widow is fantastic. His McCree is fantastic. His Tracer is excellent. He plays everything. Exy? Exy is great, but he doesn't play the Tracer that well. Carpe? Diem is better, I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you guys. I think that Diem is actually better than Carpe. I think it's really close between the two of them, and I'm not going to hate you guys if you think that Carpe is better, but I actually believe from last year, from watching a lot of the games towards Stage 3 and Stage 4, when Widow and when Hitscan was actually played more, that I do think that Diem is the better pick. He's outrageously consistent. Unbelievably consistent. He's like Carpe's clutch level, but maybe slightly reduced, but all the time. Immortality field to try and keep Void alive, and he just gets out of there with his flux. Imagine getting baited that hard into the kill on Void and he just escapes with the flux. Void is such a Chad. Such an unbelievable Chad. So this is something, by the way, that Shanghai do better than any other team in the league, is that they bait their tanks. But they bait them perfectly. Like, they'll put Fearless in an aggressive position and they'll activate the Fortify on Fearless and he'll start to back off and people will overchase to get the kill. And Dragons will just wipe them. They'll just collapse on the people that are chasing Fearless. And doing the same kind of thing with Void with his Gravitic Flux there. Holy moly. Yes, Carpe can also play the Doom of the Genji. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't normally, but he could theoretically. I think that Carpe is the more flexible player, but for me, what I'm saying is, if I was to pick a hit scan player, I would pick Diem. Decay is also a fucking good shout, though. Decay is a fucking good shout. That guy's a monster. Decay's a freak. He's like Prophet if Prophet also played a lot of the Widow McCree kind of stuff. Stitch? Okay, time for you to leave. Time for you to take your medication. There's so many good players in the league this year, and we've had a lot of different metas to be able to see them across the board. Dragons are going to lose this one, though, but a pretty good defense from them. Good point, A-Hold. Oh. Why do you think Decay wasn't able to succeed with the Gladiators? I think he was. I think Decay actually had a pretty good season with the Gladiators. He put in a very solid Zarya performance over the course of the year, and the Gladiators finished top 5. That's pretty good. The Gladiators did not have as good a roster on paper as those other teams that were alongside them in the top 6 or 7. But they still got the job done a lot of the time. But they didn't keep him? Yeah, because Decay wanted to leave. Me and DP were talking about this. Apparently, Decay wanted to play with a team that was more like... not full Korean, but like more Koreo-centric, I guess. Like, I think the way that David said it was something like... Decay wanted to play with, or preferred to play with another Korean DPS partner, or wanted more of a Korean culture within the team. And because the Gladiators were heading more mixed, like even more mixed, Decay wanted to find another team that would fit him a bit better. So he went to Dallas. Yeah. But I mean, Dallas at least have Gamsu and Doha that he plays alongside, and they were running with Closer the majority of the season as well. So that's 4 out of 6 Korean. But yeah, I mean, with Crimzo getting added to the lineup and then Paintbrush getting added to the lineup, I suppose Crimzo actually doesn't make any difference because it would have replaced Anko, but yeah, with Paintbrush getting added to the lineup and Kevster, not Kevster, Onigod as well, maybe that changes things up a little bit. The Gladiators had Roar and Void. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the I don't know the exact thing. I think it was probably more to do with his. I think it was probably more to do with the DPS partner, if I had to guess. But I think David presented him with this vision of how Gladiators were going to continue, and Decay was like, okay, I think I would rather look for another team. I think that was how it was supposed to be presented. You could go back and you could watch the charity stream that I did with David for a more elaborate explanation, though. Because I don't really know whether it was communication or he wanted people that he could maybe connect with a bit more and just like enjoy spending time with, because presumably it's a little more difficult, I would imagine, for Korean players to be spending a lot of time in America if they don't have people that they can regularly chat with and talk to in their common language. But that's all speculation. I don't really know. Okay, so the Dragons are holding pretty close at the choke. Fleder's got these big walls coming out, and they're playing aggressive, trying to capitalize off this gravitic flux. Diem hits a nice shot onto Profit. Diem's kind of fucking slanging. It seems like every fight where it gets scrappy and it's a long team fight, Diem just finds many opportunities to be able to get shots off. He's worried about Fitz, who's taking the long flank through the back. Diem is so nasty. Where do I rank Void as an off-tank? I think Void's been the best off-tank so far this year. I think there's some other people that are very close, but I think Void has been the best. Ult's available here for the Dynasty. Dragons have to give them quite a bit of respect. Oh, that's a really nice gravitic flux, actually, though. A bit too far forwards for the rest of the Dynasty to capitalize on. But they can try and pop a Blizzard. I think Blizzard here would be the best idea. Yep, Prophet ends up popping the Blizzard. Might have been a little too late. No, it was pretty perfect because it just froze up Void as he went for his gravitic flux as well. That's huge. Really nice play by Prophet. The timing and the placement of that was perfect. Prophet and Fled are having a little Mei 1v1 off on the side as well. Everyone blaming Diem for the finals loss? Yeah, I mean, it just seems weird, right? When you lose 4 maps with Diem and you win both maps with Lip. But I'm assuming there's way more to it than that. I haven't watched the final yet. But I am interested if there's some visible difference between when they have Lip and Diem in. Maybe it was the comps that they were playing. I don't actually know because I haven't watched the series. But so far, Diem seems to be kind of slanging. If anything, it's Fleder that I'm more concerned about. But he's done pretty well on the Mei. I think that Prophet's outplayed him so far in this series overall, though. Would I say that? Maybe not. It's been pretty even. The wall from Fleder catches Fitz. I don't know why Fitz was... Well, I mean... I think Fitz would have been better off holding passive positions until they just get the cart rolling in. I don't think you need to try and force anything there. This is looking good for a Dragon's win. They got a lot of ults available. That really should have... The momentum should have continued, but they found a lovely opportunity. The Dragons are so flexible with how they play. They're very adaptive in the middle of team fights. Prophet missed his Mei wall there a little bit. He put it on the wrong side of the Amp Matrix, so it would have just been shredded. And the Dragons, they only use the Amp Matrix here, and they've got so many more ults left. I want to watch this from Diem's point of view, because I think he'll either watch the slaughter or cause the slaughter. The Soul Sheep, thank you for the new Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much. Let's keep funneling Jeff Bezos' dirty money back to me. Blizzard coming out from Fleder, catches Prophet. Very nice. And it's a good aggressive defense from Dragons, which is exactly what the Dynasty failed to do on their defense. Fitz getting caught out on both attack and defense of point C, actually, so a lot of mistakes there. And the Shanghai Dragons win without having to default to the Genji basically at all, which is pretty interesting, but worrying. Because I think you need a good Genji to be a good team in this. Or rather, you need to be comfortable playing the Genji to be good in this manner. Alright. Oh! Guys, guess what I just got in the mail? Guess what I just got in the mail? I'm going to let you guess. What did I get in the mail? Please see this. Krong's stats. Second fewest deaths per 10 minutes is Sigma. Out of all Owl players on all heroes, he has second most final blows, third in eliminations, and in total hero damage. Wowee. You guys are right. It was laxative, hair growth pills, fleshlights, and a toupee. You guys are geniuses. No, you fucking idiots. I saw some of you spamming the right answer. My worm costume. Hell yeah. My worm costume has arrived. The problem is... Alright, there's a problem, chat. The only worm costume on sale anywhere in the entire world, as far as I could tell, was a tequila worm costume, which is like a drunk worm with a sombrero on. And I don't think that that's particularly appropriate. Like, I don't know. Just, you know, dumb white boy wears sombrero for giggles does not seem like the best costume in the world. So I'm going to cut the sombrero off and I'm just going to be a bald worm. It'll actually look better anyway. It's a sombrero and a worm. Yeah. So if I cut off the sombrero, it will have a hole at the top. But my head is bald and pink anyway. So that works perfectly as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to look like a fucking worm. I'm just basically a bald worm. Why am I dressing up as a worm? Because Let's get Sideshow cancelled. Oh, I've been doing my best job of it recently. I am dressing up as a worm because it was one of the donation goals for my fundraiser for the NAACP. Are worms not usually bald? Hell yeah, they are. That's what I'm saying. It's a good thing.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I'm basically going to look like I'm dressed as a penis, yes. But I have done that before. I've done a show dressed as a penis to, like, 300 people in a live audience. Uncircumcised? Yeah, it was an uncircumcised penis costume.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's true, Foster. Alright, let's take a look at this then. Okay, so dragons here are gonna run the Genji, which makes a lot of sense. I am anticipating the Diem fuckage. Oh, okay. Is he anticipating a teleporter or a flank from the other Widowmaker? Well, now they know that they're running Ashe. Diem dodges the Holt Rock or Holt Headshot or whatever that was supposed to be. And he gets an immediate first pick onto Prophet. Diem is so good, man! He's so good! He's so consistent! How did they lose with him? How did they lose every map with him to Guangzhou? Did Happy just boom him? What happened, chat? I need to know. I will know at some point when I watch the game, but I don't know. I don't get it. Okay, a bit of a push around the left-hand side there. But Osin dies as he's trying to reconnect with the rest of his team. The Dynasty are pretty split apart. They're pretty scrappy around here. Lijigon's very weak, but there we go. Izzyaki will heal him back up. And I don't think the Dragons were healthy enough to punish. Whoop. Nice shield by Michelle. Oh, they're running Michelle. Why? What the fuck are the Dynasty coaching staff doing? Just subbing in Michelle when you're not 2 down? Because they think Michelle's better? Because they thought Marvel was the problem? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, let's have that in the back of our minds as well. Nice halt to pull them off, stop them chasing. Michelle with the kinetic grasp. Fearless is going to push in. And Badosian immediately dies. Really nice combination there. Fleder getting a lot of damage done in the middle of that. Nice headshot from Fitz, though. That can open things up. Gesture's really weak, but Fearless is also hyper overextended right now. Hyper overextended. What the fuck was going on there? Okay, so they push. They get a nice engagement, but the actual... The flux itself doesn't pop. So even though Dynasty have done a lot of damage here, and they forced out a lot of shit... What's really going on? Oh, Fearless got pushed over here because he couldn't contest the Amp Matrix. That's why they're so spread out. The Amp Matrix is nice. But why don't Fearless and Izzyaki try and escape up to the high ground? Why do they try and fight this? They know they're going to die. I mean, I suppose Fleder's dead anyway. Nice pick from Fitz. And a good Amp Matrix placing from Badosian as well. Pretty smart. Judge my hot take. Oh, Neko Memester, thanks for the 4 months as well. Philly is last year's New York. Philly is last year's New York. Based on the whole year, clearly the 3rd best team, a tier below the top 2. I mean, in that sense, yes. I agree. But not in terms of playstyle or anything like that. Only in terms of where they are in the rankings. And I think, actually, that if the Guangzhou Charge continue to do well, then that even that comparison will end up getting blown out of the water. I think it's pretty fair to say that throughout this year, the Philadelphia Fusion have been a top 3 team. Most people would have ranked them as a top 3 team and the third best team, maybe second, for the majority of this year. Like that's not a wild take. Top 3 NA? Dude, you are smoking some hot shit. Like that's some kind of fucking revisionist history. There was absolutely most people had Philadelphia Fusion ranked in the top 3. They had Shock, Philly, and Shanghai as their top 3 because Shanghai was dominating in Asia. So there wasn't another team in Asia that you would put in the top 3. Yeah, you guys are revising history based on the Summer Showdown results of Asian teams like being able to get up there and compete. I don't think that's a hot take at all. I think that's absolutely the case. Philadelphia Fusion have been considered a top 3 team for the majority of this year. It's just a fact. Now, whether or not they were is a bit debatable, but they were certainly considered that. I think they probably were, but in the May Melee, they clearly were not. I mean, Mayhem and Valiant were absolutely better teams. Well, yeah, the Valiant became a better team. Were they actually in the May Melee? But yeah, the Mayhem definitely were. And you could argue that some of the Asian teams have been, like, Seoul at their peak has been better. But up until recently, I don't think you could really say that the Guangzhou Charge were obviously better than Philadelphia Fusion. Wow, I mean, what on earth is that blade from Prophet? Look at this again. What am I being subjected to here? So, Supercharger goes out. Gesture pushes forwards. But they have done zero scouting about the positioning of the dragons. Zero. They have no idea where they are. Gesture is firing a halt up here. And the only player that he's going to catch it on is Izayaki. And if Prophet blades down there, he's not even going to be in line of sight of the Supercharger. They haven't done anything about Fearless. And they're just going to blade in the back onto Izayaki, who just jumps away and takes armor pack and roasts Prophet. Okay, Prophet doesn't die, but he doesn't really do much. I mean, Fleta also, though, does bollocks all, so I guess we should look at that, too. Since what's most important with Prophet's Blade is just that the Dynasty get control of the point area. But they also need to flush some people out of the high ground. You can't stand on point and give up both of these high ground areas. So, okay, what does Fleta do here? Diem has already died. Fleta blades Fitz in the backline. I just don't think that makes sense either. There's a Supercharger down, and both Genjis are playing out of line of sight of the Supercharger, alone, with no help from their Brigitte. They're out of line of sight of their Brig players as well. They don't have any Inspire healing, and they're not playing with halts. Although I suppose Prophet did play with a halt. It was just a really tiny halt that just dragged Izayaki barely any distance at all. Oh, one bad blade deserves another, I suppose. But Dynasty have got a lot of positioning based off of this. They did a pretty good job at flushing people out of this top left corner. I gotta say, though, I haven't noticed a big difference between Michelle and Marvel. There haven't really been any major differences. What's your opinion on Prophet's Genji? It has historically been unbelievably good. In this match, I would say it has been slightly better than Fleta's, but not really anything to write home about either of them. The keyword there is historically. Well, I mean, obviously he hasn't been able to play it in a long time. When was the last time that Genji was in the meta? Everyone's... If you're talking about anybody's Genji play coming into this tournament, you have to say historically. I mean, apart from Haxal, who actually plays... Haxal pulls it out all the time. I mean, Haxal and the Vancouver Titans were playing it last year as well. So, yeah, apart from Haxal, everybody else has just been forced to bench their Genji. For a long time. Have the Asian teams been behind in picking up the Genji? Yeah. Both in terms of the time span, like they took longer to realize that Genji was good. And also, I think they have not been as clean with how they set their Genjis up to succeed. I think Charge have been the best that I've seen so far, but even the Charge weren't as good as Paris at setting up Sparkle to succeed. And I'm not sure that Charge was as good as Philly at being able to set up EQO to succeed either. But I think that's quite questionable. It's much closer between Philly and... Ow! Oh! 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 Fucking hell! I just punched myself in the mouth and bust my lip. Oh, fucking hell. My lip's bleeding. Fucking hell. My headset fell off my head, so I went to catch it, and as I went to catch it, I smacked the bottom of my mic, and my mic smacked into my face. And this has got a fluffy... Fucking hell. Fucking lips bleeding. I went to... Oh, this has got like a fluffy... windbreaker thing on it. I can't even remember what it's called. Like a pop filter. But it's hard metal underneath that. And I just slammed this pop filter into me. Ah, fucking hell. I got a boo-boo. Gotta have a swollen lip. God damn it. What a stupid move. What an absolute three-head play. Punching myself in the mouth. Punching myself in the mouth. Yeah, at least I didn't chip a tooth. Jesus. I don't think I quite hit it hard enough to chip a tooth, but certainly enough to bust my lip. Fucking hell. That was like... actually kind of hurt. Okay, where the fuck were we? Alright, the dragons are attacking. And they're running Diem on the Widowmaker. What I was gonna say was, it's much closer between the Charge and the Philadelphia Fusion, I think, because of the styles that both teams play. They both play a similar style. Where their Genji is playing the flanks, trying to punish the other team's Genji, looking for kills, and their hit scan is the primary focal point for the team. Let's take a look at Diem as well. Oh my god, Diem is so good! It seems like every time I watch his POV, he's hitting shots. Even if they don't end up in kills. Help Diem. Fighting an Ash. Yeah, Fitz got kind of clowned on, honestly. Ah. Ow! Oh. Look at that. I go to scratch my ear, knock my headphones off, and smack. Ow. Oh. I just smacked myself in the mouth. You dumb egg. Oh, look at that. Look at my face. It's like... You dumb, stupid egg. Oh. My lip is all swollen.
Objective lost. New defense point.
Jesus Christ. Scans, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Christ. Okay, so what I would like to see from the Dynasty here is actually an aggressive defense. Given that Prophet is close to his blade. But they're not. They're sat really passive in the back. I don't think that giving the dragons this much space for free is a good idea. You want to try and use your blade to chain up the kills. Look at this flank as well. Look at that. Legion, Fleder, and Void. Legion and Void are like a little death machine that just pounds its way into your backline. Takes control of high grounds. Nothing you can do to contest them. Blade comes out for profit. The Blade is pretty good though. I think that Fleder and Fearless missed a trick by going for an earlier Blade there. But they might still be able to make this work. I still think that Fleder should be blading. I think he's waiting too long. He's giving Prophet the run of it. Okay, Prophet just absolutely manhandled that team fight and Fleder didn't even try. Maybe they just want to set up a large ult bank? But I don't think that really makes sense, because if you let Dynasty start to ult cycle, like if Prophet gets up to another Blade in this team fight because the Dragons are playing slow, then you just have the same thing happen again. Yeah, they used Bongo. I don't know why they didn't Blade with it. I don't know why they didn't Blade earlier and then put down the Bongo. Okay, now they're going to rally Blade. Oh, what? Did Fleder just dash into the wall? I have not been convinced with the Fleder Genji. Oh no, he didn't even dash. He just focused on killing the front line. That's okay, actually. Just ensuring that his team absolutely dominates that tank battle. The Orisa is a very weird target to go for with your Blade, but they already forced out the Immortality field with the Flux, so he just ensured that his team took control of the point. So, pretty decent. Fleder not trying to carry, though. Not going for these huge blades. Just chopping his team. Chopping his team to pieces.
Initiating match.
Telling my mum that I can participate in a quiz on Friday. Okay, doke. Right. Let's take a look at this.
Ready for battle. Attackers incoming in 30
On Plat Chat, you guys should try a power rank each team in one combined ranking of both regions. I mean, that's what Jonathan does. I actually think that you could do it now. I think we've seen enough games so far that you could try and make a pretty competent combined power rankings. The problem is, of course, with all power rankings, how much do you rate recent results and how much do you rate historic performance of like how long should be considered for a power rankings? Like Thorin does his CSGO, or used to do his CSGO power rankings, and he would base it on the last 3 months of play. I think 3 months is way too long, honestly, for Overwatch. I think the game changes way faster than CSGO does. But just leaving it to 1 month seems a bit weird, because that's essentially just one tournament and one meta. I mean, it actually hasn't been one meta. It's been 2, arguably 3 metas that we've seen so far in this July tournament, in the Summer Showdown, like, you know, regular season games and qualifiers leading up to the tournament itself. In the 3 weeks of play, we saw 3 quite distinctly different metas. But, oh, I guess it was 4 weeks of play, actually, wasn't there? But yeah, 3 distinctly different metas. But, yeah, I think that you kind of have to consider a little bit of other stuff as well. Like, because otherwise, what use does the power ranking really have? If you say that Paris are the best team in the world right now, but then the meta changes and Genji is out, does that power ranking really hold any value anymore? So, I think you have to include some historic context and not just be a recency bias Randy in order to provide some value with the power rankings. But then power rankings are supposed to be just a, you know, one shot. You know, that's the whole point, right? Power rankings. It's supposed to be how good the teams are right now, a snapshot kind of thing. I don't know. Power rankings are kind of fucked, but people love them. So whatever. I think the power rankings this week are going to be wild, though, because they're not going to be the same as the tournament results, which is always weird. Like, I really think that Dallas actually played pretty well, despite the fact they went out in the quarters. Did Dallas even make it to the quarters? Did they go out before that? Anyway, let me rewind this team fight. I want to take a look at what the Dragons are doing here. Fleder's built up quite a bit of his blade. They continue to harass. Nice halt. Fleder dashes through. I think this is all really good. They haven't really been doing very much of that at all. But that's fantastic. And Diem is just free shooting. Gets another shot on Fitz as well. Diem is absolutely fucking. Like, this series, Diem, in my opinion, has been their, like, standout player. And I do agree with, this is something that Dream, the coach for the Houston Outlaws, said as like a reason that he doesn't think that Lip is a Rookie of the Year candidate, is he thinks that the roster is better with Diem on paper. And I think it is on paper. It is a better roster on paper if you have a Widowmaker meta. Diem's fucking ridiculous. But for some reason, they don't end up winning as often. Even though Diem is bonkers. Maybe Diem's Ashe isn't as good. Maybe that's what happens. Diem gets forced onto the Ashe. I haven't really seen Diem play Ashe that often. He didn't play it last year. Didn't play it on Contenders either. That's just a full-on fuck you kind of play from the Shanghai Dragons. Get bundled into a room and Dragon Blade them. That's nice aggression from Fleder, supported by the rest of his team. Okay, and now with 10 seconds left, the Dynasty have no chances. I suppose Prophet could pull some EQO-esque sick play out, but seems unlikely, doesn't it? Prophet's just fucked at the back there. Literally 1v6, getting... just looking at Lee Jae Gon on the brig. Okay, well... that was a good defense by the Dragons. Nice, aggressive defense. Making a lot of space for Diem to pop off. Dude, Diem, do it. Pull out the fucking Doom Fist. Why not? Why the hell not? I'm going to take another look at Diem here. Yeah, Diem did have to come up against Happy. That's absolutely true. Happy is one of the only players in the league that can beat Diem. And Happy still has to be having a good day. Happy is a bit more streaky than Diem is, but... my god, if that guy isn't the best in the league when he's on. Actually, maybe Ants. That's the other weird thing. And maybe Ants is better than Happy when they're both on. I'm not really sure. Wow. A little bit of bounce tech. Prophet's getting a lot of ult charge here as they rotate in. Nice shield from Michelle, knowing exactly where Diem was going to be positioned. And Diem's just rotating around, looking for shots into the back of the Seoul Dynasty. Doesn't really hit. The dynamite, I mean. Oh my god. These shots are wacky good. Oh. Now he's going to get pressured. He's kind of fucked here. Yep. Decent timing by Prophet. Is Prophet going to be able to clutch this? It's a good kill onto Fleder as well. Oh, no. Great rock from Void. I love that combo. Just to go back and take a look at this again. Credit to Prophet. This team fight is already going really badly for the Seoul Dynasty. So, you know, it's not a fair situation. But Prophet does a great job here of being able to kill Diem. And then after Fleder gets rocked, he comes in and he kills Fleder. But this combo is something that Fury and Alarm were so good at as well. Look at this. Just bash, and Void gets the... like, they're both going for it at the same time. But because Lee Jae Gon bashes him, he's in place so he can get chain CC'd from the bash and the rock. Such good coordination. Lee Jae Gon and Void. And Fitz is actually turning this with the help of Prophet. Wowee. Holy shit, Fitz actually turns that. After Prophet kills 2, and everybody's looking at Prophet, he throws his bob into the back, gets Fearless out from behind his shield, and kills his Yaki. That's nasty good by Fitz. Pretty good. That bob was spectacular. Legion is really good. Hello. You okay? Would you mind doing me a favor?
What?
You know that box? The fragile box?
Oh, the
Yeah.
fragile.
Would you mind ripping the address off it so I don't accidentally dox myself and then bringing it in? Thank you. Okay. So dragons are going to attack. 47 seconds here. And what a clutch from Prophet and Fitz, honestly. What a huge clutch. If Prophet and Fitz didn't pull that out, the dragons would have easily won. And now they're in a bit of a tough situation. They do have good ults, but there's still a Rally Blade to come out here from Prophet. And a Flux from Michelle, so many opportunities here. Oh, Fitz gets destroyed, though. This is going to be hard for the Dynasty to win. Flux. Fleda gets out of it. Prophet to go huge. Immediately kills Diem. Yeah, this is enormous. Fleda needs to blade immediately. Fleda needs to blade immediately. Like right now. Why is Fleda... Why... Hello? What are they doing? Why does Fleda... Hello? Why on earth do you wait to blade until right now? Absolutely no chance. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, 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 Fleda.
I couldn't rip it off, so I sharpied it.
Oh, nice. It's been sharpie. Yeah. Just make...
This is in German for some reason.
Okay. All right. I don't know why Fleda doesn't go for the blade there at roughly the same time as Prophet. It was their only chance of winning. But yeah, Prophet does a great job alongside Fitz of being able to force this out. Now, let's take a look at what's in my magical package. So after this draw... So I got delivered this package, right? This isn't the worm costume, by the way. This is a different package. And the box says fragile. And it looks like someone has kicked the shit out of it. This box says fragile, and it looks like this. It looks... I mean, I've never seen a more beaten up fragile box. It has just been destroyed. If I tried to break a box, I don't think I could do a better job. It's just... It's been fucking ruined. Absolutely ruined. Unbelievable. And it's from Germany. It says... It's got like a customs thing on it, and it says Deutsche Post. It's like, okay, it's weird. What's in it? Texas barbecue Pringles. Three cans of Texas barbecue Pringles. German Texas barbecue Pringles. That someone just beat the shit out of. Why they were shipped from Germany, I don't know. Presumably Pringles have sent me them, #ad, to construct this Pringle tower that I have behind me. I live much closer to Texas than I do to Germany, and yet, for whatever reason, that's what I've been given. I can't even get into this now that I've talked about it as well. I just want to see the state, the absolute state of the Pringles inside. I can't get them out.
I'm so concerned.
I can't open the box. Oh, here we go. It's got bubble wrap. It's got bubble wrap. Listen to this.
I mean, it's chips in there.
That's not unusual, but I don't know, man. Not bad, honestly. Look at that. There's some broken ones, but the majority of them are pretty whole.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Any response I have to that is horrible. Really horrible.
Well,
Would you like this box?
just what I always wanted.
For you, a present. It's a box.
They're very good.
Yeah. What's the difference between NA and EU Pringles? I don't think there are any.
I don't know. It has a pound sign on the top.
Oh, yeah. Special price, £2.49. Wait, what the fuck? How are these from Germany then? Why are they in English? Why are they in pounds?
Did I misspell flavor? They do.
Oh, yeah,
British
no.
Pringles.
They spell flavor correctly, is what I think you mean.
That's not what I meant.
What is going on here? Yeah, they're from the UK.
But they're Texas barbecue.
They're from the UK, but sent via German post, and they're Texas barbecue flavor. That is so weird. Don't know why.
British Pringles come in paprika.
Yep.
I want one.
These Texas barbecue versions, I think, are the best, though. These are some of my favorite Pringles.
All right. We still have this salt and vinegar that we haven't tried.
They seem more solid.
I don't think they are.
Is that just my brain?
I think you're a little.
My brain is more solid?
All right. I'll put
Okay.
this away.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was the draw on Volskaya, and now we're going to watch Point Gibraltar.
Ready for battle.
Your brain is mush, to be honest. Yep. Alrighty tighty. Okay, so what are both teams going to be running here? The Dynasty are going to still run the Zarya on defense. I don't agree with this. I think if you are running the Mirror, you should be running the Diva. Wait, they're not running the Mirror. They're running a fucking Echo.
5, 4,
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Attackers.
Echo Sombra. Well, this is just different. An Echo Sombra. Hold on a fucking second. What's cracking here? So this is how the APAC meta has evolved on Gibraltar. Why? Does this comp counter Widow Genji? I don't really know. I don't really think it does. I think a Widow... Alright, ignore the Widow for a moment. I think Genji, Winston, Diva should be able to push the Echo, Winston, Zarya off the high ground. I think Genji is going to kind of feast on the Zarya. So let's think about the Zarya bubbles. I mean, Zarya might be able to stand up to a Diva, but especially if she's getting hacked. Yeah, maybe it's just really tough to run Diva into this comp. Because you have the Sombra, you have the Echo, you have the Zarya doing damage to him. Interesting. I would love to see this comp actually play against what the North American teams are running. Oh, it does give us an opportunity to watch Lip Sombra, though.
Stop the payload.
Exporting the payload.
Always leave yourself a box to you later. Ahorita regresa.
Lip's the best Sombra in the world. Don't give me any of this shit. This guy's so smart. He knows exactly where Fitz's translocator is going to be. And he asks his team to pressure them. And immediately gets the kill. Hello. He just saw Fitz somewhere as well, but he doesn't know where. I think Fitz immediately translocated though. Doha is also really, really good. I think that Doha's certainly within the topic of best Sombras as well. He just hasn't played much this year, so hard for him to really be in the equation the same way. Whereas Lip's played like 5 hours of Sombra so far this year. He's played a shit ton of it. He's built 100% EMP with Fitz on the building 1. Goes for a default hack onto Prophet. Pushing him out. EMP. Nice EMP. 3-man onto both DPS who are super squishy once they've been hacked. And onto Gesture. And then gets a solo hack onto Michelle. Does some damage to Prophet and then translocates up top to try and get the win. Okay, let's take a look at Prophet's Echo in this fight though as well, because we've been talking a bit of shit early on in the year about, well, not early on in the year, but early on in Echo's release about Prophet's Echo. Nano Toby. Well, kind of destroyed Void. I don't like the Zaryas in these comps. They're such fucking potatoes sat on the floor the whole time. Okay, well, none of those were particularly impressive, apart from, I suppose, the kill onto Void, but he seems like he has a good understanding of the, or a better understanding of the hero now. Let's go back to watching Lip.
Winston.
EMP from Fitz only caught Fearless. And he contributes to get the kill. I think he assumed that he would stay alive there a little bit, but contributing to his team winning the engagement as well. So pretty good. All very good stuff. Building up to another EMP as well. Oh my god. Actually just blazed Prophet down. Oh. Just a little too slow to save Izayaki. But Lip loves doing that. Just a solo EMPs to win team fights. A single kill is a team fight win. A lot of the time. So I actually love the solo EMPs. I think that's so smart. Especially because he builds them so quickly. It's bad Sombras that go for huge EMPs without any real reason to them. Good Sombras understand the flow of the fight and how if they just get that certain kill, they'll win. I mean, in that previous fight, they actually burnt through the whole of Badoshin's Nano Boost as well. He's almost got up to another one though, because Gesture keeps taking so much damage. Hack onto Toby. Gonna get a follow-up from the rest of his team. Which is wonderful. Ooh, and he just misses that EMP onto Fitz. Again, just going for the solo EMP to make sure that Fitz is dead and he can't build up an EMP of his own. Nice play from Fitz, translocating away. That's not questionable, though. They're about to cap. I mean, what's he going to do? Save it for the next round? This kind of style works so well for the Dragons, because Fearless's Winston is just bonkers as well. I still don't quite understand how this became the meta on Gibraltar, though. It is strange. It's gotta be because people ran this to boom the diva when people were running Genji Winston diva comps. Like, I've never seen such a hardcore fuck the diva player in my life. But still. I think the Zarya is also just pretty useless at times. Poor off tanks. Do I think Lip won't be able to play the big ball Sombra because of Brig nerfs? Yeah, I think it'll definitely hurt his playstyle. He'll still play it somewhat, but I don't think it'll be as good. Okay. That was bad. Did they kill his translocator? Yeah, they did. Probably Fitz. If I had to guess. Yep. Very nice. Mind games. I love those little battles between the Sombras. So Fitz is looping all the way around behind now as well. The whip shot as well from Lee Jae-gon. Whoa, where is Fearless going? Holy shit, he's deep. Wait, what the fuck is going on there? What did I miss? What? What is this about? What the hell? He just jumps in to isolate the Ana player. How is this ever going to work? What am I missing here, chat? Why on earth is he going for this? This is like the largest giga feed I've ever seen in my life. He's fucking miles away from the rest of his team. Is he just hoping that Void will be able to push across with 100 damage and kill everything? Like, he's so fucking deep. It's ridiculous. It's just the definition of a feed. That's like Roshan. A great Bionade, though, from Izayaki. Nearly killed Badosin and Toby. And the rest of the Dragons, they hold, and Fearless is straight back in the fight. Because Prophet died, so it doesn't even get punished. Actually inting to trade 1-for-1 on defense and still doesn't get punished for it. Oh, Gesture is screwed. Absolutely screwed. Gesture's positioning there. He just did not anticipate Fearless and Void both going for him. Back up to blue box. Void has got to retake high ground surely here. No? He's just going to sit on the floor? Oh, I guess Izayaki isn't there to heal him either. Oh, Lee Jae-gon couldn't trigger Inspire in time. EMP catches Gesture and Prophet, and Fearless is forced to engage. Nice engage, but kind of weak. Prophet dies to a whip shot from Lee Jae-gon as well. What the fuck? This map is so unlike everything else that we've seen. You see there, like, how Fleda died? Fleda's just trying to hide. Lijigon doesn't have any Inspire up because he's just holding the top, and Izyaki's all the way down there, so... But then what does Lijigon do? He just fights people on the payload? Oh! Quite nice. What a scrappy map of Overwatch. Or at least this point A defense has been.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Winston.
Now Fleda is body blocking gesture up top. Oh my god. EMP from Fitz. Very chaotic. The Dynasty haven't been able to take space at all, though. Every time they... Oh, nice hack onto Izzyaki, though. That's what they were after this whole time. Fitz to get in position to actually land a decent hack. Now Prophet with his Primal. See if he can get anything done. What are Prophet's techers like? Not good. Yep, you said it. You said it right, Echo Lady. Prophet's Primal. Not the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Still finishes off Lee Jig on there. Fitz getting tickled. EMP onto Michelle and Badoshin, who are hanging around there. Just to try and desperately hold on to point A. The Dragons are losing, but they're slowly losing, and they're just trying to buy time. A nice pick. Prophet onto Izzyaki. Otherwise, Fearless could go and maybe just clutch this by himself. I thought Fearless was going to also commit his Primal. Maybe he would have done if Izzyaki hadn't died. What a weird, scrappy defense of point A. What a fucking odd round. Very strange, chat. Very strange.
Apagando las luces.
These fights are happening all over the place. And they're partly so uncoordinated because both teams are running a Zarya, and the Zarya just can't stay with the dive, so you're forced to split your team into 2 or 3 different portions. Even though the D.Va is countered by getting hacked, and getting beamed by the Zarya as well, I do think there's a world in which these comps would lose to D.Va Genji comps. Just because you wouldn't even give them the time, like, you'd play a much higher tempo. You wouldn't even give them the time to burn your D.Va down. You'd just be fucking hardcore diving them. Whereas these comps, they're slow, they're scrappy. You get a Nanoblade cycling, and I think these kind of comps find it very difficult to get back in. Okay. EMP from Prophet. Just because, why the fuck not? He's just gonna copy a Sombra. And so far, the defending teams just cannot get situated on point B of Gibraltar. Which again, I think is because they're running the Zarya. Is this the only map with a different meta? I mean, a totally different meta? Yeah. We've seen some double shield Tracer Ashe on a bunch of comps, and I suppose Junkertown is the most obvious example of that, perhaps. But even there, you can get value out of the Genji Widow, so... Yeah, this is the only map where we're seeing a fundamentally different thing being played. Oh yeah, the control maps. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot about those. And we've seen a bit of Mei Ashe being played on Hanamura and King's Row though as well. Which isn't like a massively different meta, but it is different. Nice sleep. Almost through the Fearless bubble. Is this going to buy enough time? Fitz has EMP. Could be huge. Ligia gone, takes the bubble, still dies.
Circuits engaged.
But Gesture has been beamed down here. Oh, and Void gets body blocked. Oh, that's so nice by Prophet. That's so fucking good. Fladder knocked to the floor. What? What a shitty comp. Like, what a boring comp to watch, considering that we're watching Dive.
Score.
So scrappy. And it just lacks... It lacks a lot of synergy. I think it just hard counters some of the good comps. Right, well, on to the next round. And it's all going to come down to point A, essentially, I think. Because the Dynasty really struggled to take point A, whereas the Dragons didn't at all, particularly. Let's take a look at what Void does. Oops, that's not Void. Where would you put Eileen's Genji playstyle between Sparkle and EQO? Much more similar to EQO. Pringles are fucking good, Dragonfly.
Attackers incoming.
Okay, I'm bored. So Fitz is behind them. Lip has managed not to have his translocator spotted, or didn't put it down at the beginning of the round or something. Fitz is looking for a hack onto Lip here. Oh, that's exactly what he gets. The peel is pretty good, though. Really good, actually. Incredibly good peel. Holy moly. Look at this again. Lip's just standing out in the open, almost as if he knows he's gonna get hacked. And the reaction is so fast. The sleep from Izayaki onto Fitz. My god. My god. Hot damn! That's kind of clean. How many games will you review today? I'm going to do the finals as well. It's like 8 hours of games. Maybe 7, actually. I'm not exactly sure.
30 seconds remaining.
Stream's been going now for 5.5 hours. Gesture with a bit of a dive, but doesn't really get much done. Fearless has been bionated, but they're going to back off. Izayaki has Nano at pretty much the same time as Badosin does. Badosin a little bit faster, but it doesn't really matter because there's a whole team fight ready to go. Oh my god, what a whip shot from Lee Ji-on. Unfortunately, it was before Gesture used his leap. So, I can't actually deny him. And Lee Ji-on falls anyway. But Fledder's gone in and won the 1v1 against Prophet, so I think we need to be watching Fledder here.
10 seconds remaining.
Wow, holy shit. He actually just bodies Prophet. I think that's Lip doing a shit ton of damage to Prophet as well. And Lip is so far ahead of Fitz in terms of his EMP generation. EMP catches 3. Easy shit. And that's a roll. That's a wrap, to be honest. So, by the look of it, the Dragons... if I had to guess, I would say that the Dragons started this meta. Like, this composition on Gibraltar. If I had to guess, because they're the kind of team that would rather Fledder play the Echo. And they would rather play Lip on Sombra. And Fearless is an incredible Winston. So, Yeah, I think the Dragons are probably the team that feels the most comfortable running this comp. I have no idea if Sparkle is going to be a top Echo. Not a clue. I mean, he's really gifted, but we've seen other gifted players kind of fall flat with the hero, so who knows?
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Wolf mentioned on cast that this comp can snowball because they have many win conditions with the EMP, Nano Winston, and Grav. Do you agree with that? I mean, not more than any other comp, I don't think. I don't think the Grav is a particularly strong win condition, honestly. And what you do, you're not grabbing a Sombra. You're not grabbing an Echo. So most of the time you're just trying to get, and this comp play is very split. So most of the time you're just trying to get solo grabs for an individual pick. The Grav can be decent, but it's not like a huge team fight winning ultimate. I think if you consider the Genji instead of the Echo, then you've got an ult. Then you've got a comp that can really start wiping teams because the Nanoblade is absolutely that, like, boom, that's a team fight win. Then you have EMP in the next team fight, and then you have Blade again, you know? That's when you start to get ult cycles up. This comp doesn't really seem to ult cycle so much as just scrappily fight. Nice, William. Nice. I wouldn't give me too much credit, though. I think I'm about a 2100 player. Alright, let's see what the Dragon's plan is on their attack. Because on point A, it was really set up by Lip, in my opinion. Oh, that sleep and hack. That's fantastic from the Dynasty. What a clutch play by Bedosin. Of course, much better to get that if you're on offense, but on defense, it does take some time off the clock. Another 10-15 seconds are wasted. And time for Lip to get into position as well. And now, for maybe the first time in the game, Fitz is ahead of him in terms of EMP generation. He is back in now, and they're getting kind of free push on the payload. Void and Lee Jae-gon are so weak. Izyaki's got to heal them up. And the Dragons now are in a position where they must take the high ground. They've pushed the payload as far as you can for free. See what Fitz is up to here. He's 80%. But he's backed off. And this, I mean, I don't know whether you've noticed, but most Sombras, they put their translocators behind their own team so that they translocate to safety. What Lip does quite a lot is put the translocator behind the enemy team so that when he harasses them, he continues to be behind them so that they're always afraid of him. And he doesn't really get punished for that often either. Mostly on offense, obviously. Can't do that as easily on defense because the attacking team will just kill your translocator. But alright, let's take a look at this team fight. Because this is the one that decides Gibraltar. Fearless is up on the high ground. Him and Fleder have taken control. They've got Void in a really good position as well. The Zarya, I think, should just generally stay around blue box until they're needed to drop. Nano goes in, onto Fearless. Great Bionade as well from Izayaki. Onto Michelle, so he can't be healed whatsoever. And Gesture feeds. I mean, he just desperately has to jump in to stop the... what's it called? To stop the payload getting there. Look at Fitz EMP charge as well. If we go back... okay, so if we go back to this position here, 2 minutes 10, he's got 80% of his ult. So he should definitely have it within, like, the next 20 seconds, surely. And Fitz is just back here harassing. But he basically does, like, no harassment at all. And then he just teleports back to safety. So Fitz doesn't even have an EMP for this final fight. Which I don't think is very good as a defensive Sombra. I think you need to be prioritizing getting that up. Right. Fitz only gets EMP after 2 of his team are dead. And then he just has to run in and feed with it. But the Dragons really won that with the very good offense the first time around, which was opened up by Lip's play, I think. And Fleda looks confident on the hero.